regular meeting of council to order Monday, November 18th, 2019. I'd like to recommend that the Monday, November 18th regular meeting of council, 2019, regular meeting of council meeting agenda be approved as presented. Seconder, Councillor Majinski. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Adoption of minutes, November 4th, 2019, regular council meeting minutes. Recommendation, please. Councillor Norbury.
That the November 4th, 2019 regular council meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Lehman. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Any business arising from the minutes? Council? Staff? Thank you. Moving on to 7.1 consent agenda. Recommendation, please. Councillor Korkalka.
That all items in November 18th, 2019 regular council meeting consent agenda be adopted for information.
Seconder, Councillor Lehman. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Anything council would like to bring up for discussion? Okay. I'd just like to give an update on the leadership table. I was invited to attend the leadership table, and the meeting will be in Vancouver on November 29th. And as far as I understand, the expenses are being covered by the province for that. So, okay, moving on to 8.1 Fire Protection Bylaw, number 680, 2019. Report from Director of Protective Services dated November 18th, 2019, seeking first three readings of the Fire Protection Bylaw number 680, 2019. Recommendation, please. Councillor Norbury.
That the Council, District of Tumbler Ridge Fire Protection Bylaw number 680, 2019 be read for a first time.
Seconder, Councillor Kirby. Open for discussion. Councillor Howe.
Yeah, so I had a brief conversation on some schedules and just some minor stuff not quite correct in the back of it. And I would assume that would be fixed by the time the fourth reading comes around. Just be a question back to staff to make sure that that's done. Good for 3 readings tonight, as long as that's fixed.
Okay, Mr. Wall.
Yeah, there's some mislabeled schedules, or there's some mislabels indicating schedules that don't exist, and those will be corrected through fourth reading. So the way it works is if you get through third readings, you're not allowed to make changes that affect the substance of it. If you're just dealing with typos or stuff like that, it's not an issue. And this changes that are needed don't change the substance, so you can do 3 readings tonight, and we'll make the final changes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, call to question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Second recommendation, please. Councillor Lehman.
That the District of Tumbler Ridge Fire Protection Bylaw 680, 2019 be read for a second time.
Seconder, Councillor Norbury. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Third recommendation. Councillor Majinski.
The Council, District of Tumbler Ridge Fire Protection Bylaw number 680, 2019 be read for a third time.
Seconder, Councillor Lehman. Any comments? Thank you to staff for cleaning this up and bringing it forward. I think it was necessary and well done. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to new business. 9.1 Admin 38 Golf Course Fee Waiver Amendments. Report from the Deputy Corporate Officer dated November 18th, 2019, seeking approval of amendments to Admin 38 Approved Exempt Events Policy. Recommendation, please. Councillor Korkalka.
Council approves amended 38 approved exempt events policy.
Seconder, Councillor Lehman. Any comments? Councillor Howe.
Yeah, just so, 2 things, just so I'm clear on it here. Anything that's over $400 comes back to council regardless?
Mr. Wall.
On the approved events policy? Yeah, so we have a limit on the amount that can be approved by senior staff members, and if it's above that amount, it needs to come back to council shortly, but that's, not sure if that's in this policy. I think it's in a different policy.
It's
This is
referenced.
the approved exempts policy, but it may be referenced.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Counselor Howe?
And just for the like concern, like I don't know how often we give carts away with that, and that's something I just want to make sure that is not glanced over. I'm not in favor of giving the carts away down there. You know, I don't know, you know, if we're giving golf away, it's okay, but I'm not a big fan of carts. That's what my concern is on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the history, Mr. Wall. Did when we offered the tournaments, the course, did we offer the carts as well? Okay. Councilor Krokowka?
Yeah, so just on that, I remember them, a couple of them coming in, we offered up the golf course, the golf, green fees and the car rentals. So it's not something that we don't want in this policy. It should be,
Amended.
for sure before it goes
Amended.
through.
Counselor Howe?
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking that it's going to come back to us for any time we'd see this, would it not, or is this just signed, sealed, and delivered?
I think this is an addition to the policy, correct, Mr. Wall?
That's correct. So not every, as the policy is written right now, not everything would come back to you because the TR Cares event is approved as a yearly event and the cart rentals are approved in there. Policy in this would approve the cart rentals as well. So when it comes to you in your granted aid fee for service meeting in the new year, you would be voting on giving that approval as well. So like Councillor Coca said, if you guys do not want to have that approval within this policy, it should be debated now and removed.
Counselor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor. So, but this events policy is only going to be for 2 tournaments beyond the TR Care. So anything that comes beyond the 2 that we decide on a yearly basis, we'll have to debate that when they come in. But you know, right now I'm happy with the policy in what it's saying, because I believe that it is a good idea to sort of say like, okay, TR Cares plus 2 others, you guys get the course fee waiver, including the carts, to raise money for the cause that we decide that we want to continue with.
Yeah, and I believe the process now, it will be, the applications will come in first week of January. Those are like a grant and aid application that will come next year as well. So this policy just sets out that we are offering up 3 free golf tournaments to the nonprofits, basically. Councillor Howe?
So just so I'm clear, we will have an opportunity later on in the year to say yes or no to free golf carts for either event or any event that comes in.
Yeah, through the grant and aid process, yes.
Okay.
Because it'll be an application, right?
And that's why I wasn't sure. I thought if staff has reign to do this, that we won't see that.
No,
So-
it still comes back to us through the grant and aid policy process.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct, Mr. Wall?
So it will come back with your decision whether or not to approve them, but I would say right now your approval is with the golf carts. The intention of this policy right now, as written, is that the golf carts would be approved. So if you want to, a part of the reason of doing the policy is so that you take that discretion away, so you don't have to deal with that decision every time it comes. You can leave it in there, so you're saying, okay, well, for you guys, we're only going to give you green fees, but for you, we'll give you both. But I would ask council in approving this now to make it clear, what do you want? Do you want the ability to make the decision on carts? Do you want the carts to always be approved if they're approved for the tournaments, or do you want the carts to never be approved if they're approved for the tournaments? And just a reminder that the TR Cares that's already in here is approved for the carts, so if that's not what you want, that needs to be removed now.
Okay. Council? Councilor Lehman?
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. I don't know, I don't mind, like Councillor Howe said, giving away the green fees, but I think I'm okay with TR Cares getting the carts, but I think any of the other tournaments, I'd rather that we not give the carts away. It's just because there are a lot of these tournaments, and I think it takes away a lot of the revenue, and it's only, you know, for 18 holes, it's, I don't know, $24. I don't think it's a big cost.
Yeah, potentially, but it also, the whole purpose of the tournament is to raise money for whatever cause. So by by having to pay for the golf carts as well, you're possibly taking away donation money as well. That's something to think about. Councillor Kukalka?
Yeah, I guess my thoughts on that, I mean, I have obviously same concept, I have no issue with the TRDs, or sorry, TRDs, TR cares, but I think it also depends who is, I mean, again, it's not-for-profit, but it depends who that not-for-profit is, whether they should have golf carts, in my eyes. I mean, certain organizations, I see ones from last year that did a lot. I mean, you get John O'Hanley one, I mean, they're giving right back to the district of Tunbridge sports teams, whether it's through school or through minor hockey. I think that's hands down that organization for what they're going to do there in remembrance of his name. But I think it also depends who's coming forward. And it says, we got TR Cares, and then there's up to 2 more. So to me, it depends on what not-for-profit is coming in, whether you give cards.
So council is looking for the decision to make those decisions in the future then, for what we give as far as green fees, everything? Councillor Kirby?
Thank you, Mayor. Have we had any instances after a tournament that there's been damage to carts being brought back? Is that an issue?
Not that I can remember, Mr. Wall.
No more than what we normally get. It doesn't matter if it's a tournament, you have to leave your registration, you take the golf cart, so if there's damage to it, we hold the people accountable.
Councillor Norbury?
And at this current time, we're not debating anything other than TR Cares, because TR Cares we have a long history of always having this policy in place. We don't have to allow, we still get decision before we add whatever 2 tournaments into this policy. I mean, we can just still take them in, and once we see, a good example is the John O'Hanley tournament, is we've given them everything for the last 2 years. If we do it for 3 or 4, this is a time-saving measure in that we're going to approve it anyways. Let's just have it in policy that every year that they want to do it,
That's
we
right.
can approve it, right?
That's right.
We're not forcing any decision to be made other than TR Cares at this moment in time.
No,
Which is why I'm
this
in
is
favor of
trying to streamline the process a little bit, but also make it easier for nonprofits as well. But if council's looking for those decisions on a year-to-year basis or application basis, do we even want to add this to the policy? That's the question. Councillor Howe?
I don't think the cart should be included in it myself. I think we're going above and beyond and giving the golf course away for sometimes it's an entire weekend that people can't golf on it. The other side of this is the people that pay for that golf course are the members, right? And the members have to pay trail fees, and the members have to have their carts in storage or pay to be able to go out and use it, and all of that is given away for, it's a charity event, I get that, but here's our contribution to the charity event is the free golf on the golf course, and all the people that are members that have paid, we've got to also field the questions from them to say, hey, how come I can't golf in that tournament this weekend? It's already booked. It's booked by a bunch of teams and a bunch of groups from out of town, and I can't golf that weekend. Can't even get into the golf tournament, right? So one of them in particular is always booked up. So to me, it's just an opportunity to say, we're giving you some, but give us a little bit back. To me, it's a little bit of give and take.
Okay. So can I have a motion to amend this policy? Councillor Howe?
Put a motion on the floor that we approve green fees for 2 additional groups.
We have excuse me, we have a motion on the floor at the moment to approve the amended admin 38 policy. So we could do an amendment now, or we can defeat this recommendation and move to the next motion. Council's wish. Okay, so I'll call to question on the first recommendation here. Approve the amended admin 38 exempt events policy as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, or defeated, sorry. Councillor Howe? Same motion.
Yeah, put a motion forward that the two additional charitable groups
be approved for green fees for an 18-hole tournament.
Green fees.
Okay, so that would be an addition to this, or that would be an amendment to this policy, Mr. Wall? Is that correct? Okay. Seconder for that? Councilor Majinski? Any discussion? Councilor Lehman?
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. So that still gives us the right, if we want to vote, and depending on who it is, to decide that we may want to waive cart fees
In the future,
in the
yes.
future. Okay, that's fine.
Because it'll still come to us
Yeah.
through the grant and aid process. Councilor Norbury?
My only concern, my thought behind this policy is that it sort of frees up the ones that we're always approving. Now, my concern is that they're going to come, we will have the 2 extra groups come in that have their green fees, but they're going to come in asking for cart fees waived every year, and it sort of defeats the purpose of the policy. But that's my concern. It doesn't remove any work. It just continues on.
Okay. Councilor Howell?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way you could look at it. I mean, you could look at the other way too, that they might say, well, you know, they did give us the free green fees. Let's not push our luck trying to go get free golf carts as well. But the way I understand it, when we change the policy like this, it gives staff the ability to approve this tournament. And if they wanted to put in their grant and aid application, fee for service, whatever it is, they could ask for golf carts afterwards, like Chris is saying, Councilor Norbury is saying. But the way it stands now, it's without golf carts. That's what I'm trying to get to. Without golf carts in this policy. Even the green fees, but that's what we're voting, correct?
Correct. That's the motion on the floor, yeah. Councilor Majinski?
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. And that's my concern as well, is if we're going to make this policy, it's going to encompass all 3. So that's going to also include the TR Cares tournament and them not having the ability to have free cart access, because if we're having a policy, we can't just single out different organizations. It's going to be for all 3 that we give the green fees for free for an 18 holes. So that's like, I don't think we can just say, okay, TR Cares can continue on and get the free golf carts in the policy, and then everybody else that comes and asks, those other 2 organizations can't.
Oh, that's part of the problem of this amendment too, is we've set precedent. So, yeah, it's possible it could create more time and effort by staff and council as well. Councillor Howell?
TR Cares has been going for many, many years. The other ones have not. The other one, you know, the John O'Hanley tournament only became a charitable event last year. It's the first time they put it on. We haven't even seen, since they've done the charitable event, where they have put money to. We have no idea. So, you know, in the future, we could then amend it again and say, yeah, you know, you've got a 5-year record and you guys have given $50,000 back to the community. Fantastic job. We're going to now approve carts later on down the road. There's a distinct difference between these ones. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the Legion came in after they found out we had approved other tournaments. I don't think the Legion comes in every year and does this.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. That's why I think, and that's the motion I made, is for 2 groups, those 2 distinct groups that are outside of it, that does not include TR Cares. TR Cares, the way I look at it, is paid their dues. You know what I mean? They've done this and put it on for a long time and put a lot of money back into the community and providing the service that we absolutely need in the community. To me, it's distinctly different from them. That's just my take on it, why the policy doesn't fit both.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you're absolutely right. We could revisit it in the future as well. Any other comments? Councilor Majinski?
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. So could there be potentially just a single policy for waiving all fees for just TR Cares then? If this is the most outstanding organization that comes in here all the time? Because as soon as we start doing the division of the 2 in one policy, it's not very cohesive at all. It doesn't jive at all.
Yeah, so as far as I understand, TR Cares is on our approved exempt policy at the moment. They put their dues in over the last 20 years. So we approved them to get fast tracked for that. So, Mr. Wall, how does this affect TR Cares as far as this motion it doesn't affect it, right? TR Cares is still on the exempt, so there's still, this doesn't affect it at all. Councillor Howell.
I might also point out that although we only have 2 other groups that are asking for it last year, this year we may get 4. And if those 4 groups come in and say, listen, we're good with just the free golf, we don't need the free cards, my vote goes in that direction, right? So we don't know, we're assuming we're only gonna get those same 2 groups every year after year. So when those 2 groups come in, it has to make sense, what is the best fit for our community, that we're gonna give something away for free, what are we gonna get back in return for? And that is our opportunity at that time to decide. That's the way I look at it.
Councillor Norbury.
But in my eyes, I don't think we should be making a long-term policy on organizations first year having a golf tournament. That's not something that we should be using this policy for. This policy isn't for the one-offs. Like, this is something that the tournaments that we do have year after year, and the John O'Hanley, I believe this was actually their 2nd year in putting on this tournament. So we're talking hypothetically, but I don't think that even 3 years we're ready for that point, because their society is not quite ready. This is for the first few years we should still review with them every year when it comes time to go through these exemptions, just to see how they're doing in terms of a group, in terms of how well their event is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to call the question on the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. 9.2. Sorry, Councillor Howell.
Add one other thing here. I don't know if this is the correct time, but this has came up in the past. I talked to Ms. McPhail about it there.
So golfers have expressed to me that there were a dozen tournaments last year that they were talking about, that when they go down with their memberships, a lot of the prime weekends are gone, and depending on your shift schedule and how you work, a lot of times they can't get out for a round of golf with their wife until late in the evening or something along that lines. Is there any way that we could put something in place that if you have a membership at the golf course and there is a tournament that you're not allowed to participate in or can't participate in, that the driving range is then open for free for you and your family? Is there any way-
Possible.
and how would that fit in?
It's possible, yep. We can certainly look into something like that for members, definitely, but we'll have to talk with Mr. Wall about that after. 9.2 Golf Course Road Right-of-Way. A report from the Recreation Services Manager dated November 18th, 2019 to inform Council the status of the Golf Course Road application. Before we receive this for information, or possibly receive this for information, I'd like to put forward a motion to direct staff to prepare a report to the costs associated with upgrading that road, as far as base and top coat. Seconder. Councilor Majinski. Open for comment. Councilor Kauka.
Shouldn't this be done in a notice of motion? Then a better place for it when we're getting recommendations for information, because the reports, the information's in front of us. To me, that's a notice of motion, so it comes back, so we have time to ask you where you're going with that. That's good. Notice of motion gives us an opportunity to come to you instead of voting on something when we first hear it.
For a report, yeah.
Right? It gives me a chance to ask.
Okay, I'll bring it.
Because we do have a paving report agenda here too, that to me, district's been following.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I think, I'm not saying it's in there because it wasn't our road at the time, but that'd be my comments, right, so.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely wait for that. Recommendation on 9.2, please. Councilor Lehman.
You have a motion for that, to a second.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, it was, sorry. Okay, call the question on the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated, thank you. Councilor Lehman.
For information.
Seconder, Councilor Norbury. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to staff for getting that done. That's a very important piece of the puzzle and definitely needs some upgrades. 9.3, I need to step out for conflict of interest as a member of the Old Timers Councillor Kirkowka.
I'm wondering if we can break these down one by one. And then that way we can move the old timers to the last one, and that way we can have yourself here for Arrow Vending and TR Curve Club and the TRU Society.
Yeah, we can separate each lease, sure. 4 recommendations in. Save the old timers till the end. Okay, first recommendation, please. Councillor Norbury.
That council authorizes the execution of the Arrow Vending lease.
Seconder, Councillor Kirby. Open for discussion. Okay, Councillor Kirkowka.
This is just asking a question. Actually, I forgot to ask Mr. Walnut. So I understand when they're in there and stuff like that, but when they're malfunctioning, is there a report or the staff have a detailed list and then get a hold of Arrow Vending when the machines aren't working?
Mr. Wall.
So we record instances where people's money has been eaten, if that's what you're referring to. We do have a list of how much money was deposited, what item they were trying to get, and the failure to get that item, and that's passed on to Arrow.
Okay, any more comments? Okay, call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Second recommendation, please. Councillor Norbury.
The council authorizes the execution of the Tumbler Ridge Curling Club lease.
Seconder, Councillor Kirby. Any comments? I just had one question, Mr. Wall. The amount of that lease, is that for the 3-year term or is that per year? It is per year because it's not stated clearly in that lease. It's per year? Okay. I wonder if maybe you could have a look at that lease again because it doesn't really state that per year.
We'll double check and make sure it's clear in the lease when we go to execute it, but I can assure council that the intent is for that to be per year, and not just the per year amounts that have been paid.
Okay. Very good. Any other comments or questions? Okay, call to question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Third recommendation, please. Councillor Norbury.
The council authorizes the execution of the Tumbler Ridge Youth Services Society lease.
Seconder, Councillor Kirkowka. Any comments? Okay, call to question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. I will step out now, as well as Councillor Howe.
Make them sweat it out in there.
Okay, recommendation. Councilor Norbury.
The council authorizes the execution of the TR Old Timers Hockey lease.
Seconder. Councilor Lehman. Discussion. So I just have one thing, and I guess through to Mr. Wall. Have they come in or approached the district again in regards to lowering their lease amount? I know they have in the previous years.
So we did have somebody approach us today requesting a lower amount. Was there a specific amount or just no specific amount requested?
Okay, so I'm just wondering, like, I'm not trying to put anything off, but I know in the previous years they've come forward and looked for a decrease for council. I don't think it's ever been approved from council side. So I'm not sure what council wishes are, but I know they give a lot back to Tumbler Ridge, minor hockey, the high school. I don't have a set amount that I'd want to change it to, but I'm not sure if we give them an opportunity to come before council before we initiate this lease, or just go forward and initiate this. Councilor Norbury?
I would be okay with postponing this to hear what the old timers have to say if this is still an ask. I do remember a member of the organization coming in and asking for a reduction in their fees. If that is still their desire, give them a reasonable amount of time to come in and ask us.
Okay. Councilor Kirby?
Thank you. So, was there any other group that was on this list that came forward for a reduction in fees before we possibly postpone this one?
Sounds good. Staff? I mean, we don't have to. We can just go ahead with lease on, and that's fine. I just know in the previous years, whether staff has contacted them or they've just come in their own as a delegation looking for a decrease due to what they give back to the community in regards to minor hockey. I know they do some stuff with the high school, whether they're giving a bursary or something there. I just know that previously it's been done. And, you know, I mean, I've never had anybody approach me this year, but I know previous years I've had a lot of people approach me saying, you know, asking why we wouldn't, you know, be looking at that for what they give back to the community as well as an organization. So,
Thank you. Usually, so what is the time frame for these societies to come in and ask for a decrease? So this has come out and we're voting on it tonight. So when were the groups supposed to come in and look over these leases? Or, because I'm wondering, because fee for services, all the grant needs are coming up, so that's why I'm wondering of the time frame of this.
yeah, I'll go to staff because I don't know. And like I said, I thought about that after I was sitting there, and I mean, my apologies, never thought about the curling club and the other ones are pretty minimal. But yeah, I know, and I think staff's just trying to get ahead of it, and I think that's a want from council because I know ourselves, you know, sometimes you're lacking 6 or 7 months behind signing a lease. So, Mr. Wall.
That's correct. The user groups are aware of the lease amounts that they pay all year, so they're able to come in at any time. Based on the direction we get here, we're going to try and execute the leases with the groups, and if they come and say, if at that time we try and execute the lease with them and they say, no, we don't want to pay that amount, they'll have the opportunity to come to council before they sign the lease as well. So.
Okay. Councilor Baird.
And as you know, I'm willing to look at other options. I mean, I don't think we should. We're coming up to budget time. We need to have all of our ducks in a row, and you know, it shouldn't be the day of the council meeting we're making this decision that someone comes in and says, "Hey, wait on a second." Like they've known about this for years. They have a couple of members on our council to become aware of the issue, to bring it up beforehand.
Okay. So, any more discussion? Okay. All in favor? So, sorry.
Just wanted to let you know that all the groups were informed about a week ago that this was going to be coming up. And so we have the approach of the old timers today and no approach from the
So, only old timers have contacted the district.
And like I said, we'll go and take these to the groups at this point, and if they don't wish to sign, that would be their choice. As well.
So, if they don't sign, they still have a chance to come back, whether it's the curling club or aero vending or the old timers. Because I mean, really, the youth service, I think it's $1. So I mean, I think, you know, that's a little different. I mean, you know, and good on staff for recognizing $1 there. I think they've had that for years, but I mean, obviously we're not looking there. So I'm not sure if council wants any more debate on this, or we're good. Okay, call a question. All in favor? Okay, opposed? Carried. I wanna
Throw the gavel at the door.
yeah.
So I joined them.
Didn't adjourn? Okay. 9.4. Correct, Deputy? 52 Sekunka Place Access, a report from the Director of Operations and Infrastructure dated November 18th, 2019 regarding 52 Sekunka Place. Recommendation, Councillor Norbury.
For information.
Seconder, Councillor Majinski. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, 9.5, schedule of meetings. Any issues there, Council? Mr. Wall, did you have any additions? Okay. There was just one thing. The district Christmas party, Mr. Wall, that's December 6th, is that correct? And that's for everybody, is that all district staff? Yeah.
You just mayor and council, have you received your invitations?
I'm not sure.
Anybody recall seeing one?
Email.
Okay.
Email.
Make sure you're invited.
Okay. Notice of motions. Any notice of motions? Councillor Kirby.
Yes, that the district sent a letter of support to Karen Goodings of the Alaska Highway Community Society, stating that the district of Tumbler Ridge supports the designation of the Alaska Highway Corridor as a National Historic Site in the category of place.
Nice. Councillor Majinski?
Sorry.
Okay. Any others? I'm going to hold off on mine. So 10.1, funding request for health center window project. Councillor Norbury. Councillor Majinski, yes.
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. I'm just going to step out and recuse myself for this, just in case there's a conflict with my business.
Thank you. Just wait. Councillor Norbury.
That council approved the Building Healthy Communities Committee funding request of $4,500 for the proposed health center window project.
Seconder. Councillor Kirby. Open for comment. Councillor Norbury,
Keep it brief.
please.
I think this project hits 3 points that are in tune with our plans in the future. It helps beautify our downtown. It helps promote living through activities shown, and as well as promotes tourism through local travel destinations.
Okay. Councillor Kukalka.
Yeah, so the only concern I had, I actually came in and talked to Mr. Wall, so I won't say it's much of a concern after talking to Mr. Wall, but to me it's a private building. It's owned by Northern Health. It's a government facility. There's private businesses that lease from Northern Health that are there. Massage, there's eye care, and stuff like that. To me, we're beautifying up the space that they lease or rent. And we're also beautifying up a government-ran building. But talking with Mr. Wall, nothing against the charter. Because it's a government building and it's not going to the per the leasee or the renter. I still have an issue with that. Personally, I have an issue with that. When we have other buildings in the community that have done the same thing and paid for it on their own. To me, Northern Health owns the building, and if that's something that they obviously have approval to do windows. I mean, to me, I don't understand why Northern Health would not write a check to have their building look better in regards to the walking tour, or to the residents, or to the visitors of our community.
Yeah, I do have concern with that myself, because it isn't a district-owned building. Should taxpayer money help fund beautify that windows or that building? In my mind, I think this could have been a really good initiative for the hospital foundation to partner up with Northern Health, possibly. But yeah, I can't really support taxpayer money going to this project. Any other comments? Councillor Lehman.
Thank you, Mayor Bertrand. I must say, I never looked at it quite like that. I just thought it would be a good idea, but Councillor Kukalka brought up a good point. I think as much as I'd like to see it done, I think you're probably right. I think we should maybe look at alternative funding and see if it can be done through other means.
Any other comments? Okay, call the question on the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated, thank you. Can we grab Councillor Majinski, please? Okay, moving on to Councillor's business. Councillor Norbury. Update, go ahead.
I did. So we don't have anything solid yet, and I don't really like reporting too much on things that are still in action and that are upcoming. But I thought because of with all of the overdose deaths and suicides in the community, I should update some projects that I am working on. I'm speaking with the World Cafe about having another clinic, as they had last year when they brought in the opioid addictions crisis workshop. They're planning on coming in again either later this year or early next year, as well as looking at other options of support for our community at this time. it's nothing's going to happen immediately, but they're still going to try and reach out and see if there's something that can fit us. And as well as I've been in discussion with Northern Health and about options for our residents, so we can pass on information about services that are available. Because as the chair of the Building Healthy Communities Committee, I feel this is something that we should be addressing, and it's for the welfare of all of our.
Absolutely. Thank you. Councilor Krokowka.
Yeah, so just to add that, I mean, I forwarded an email that Councilor Norbury received anyways from Peter Martin. Same thing, we're gonna have from our side too, with True Northern Health, Peter Martin, trying to find out why we don't have the counselors that we used to have. Does that prevent it all? No, but it gives it an outreach for somebody that might be in need. Right now, most people are traveling out of town. So he's supposed to be getting back to council via email. Once he kind of gets some more information, just want to make sure people are aware of that.
Yep. Any other councilors' business? Councilor Kirby.
Mayor Bertrand. I attended the TRMBA meeting this week along with the regional district meeting. I brought forward the concerns that we have in Tumbler with not being able to secure the last doctor that we had here. And the regional district was quite concerned because they've put $100,000 towards recruitment, and so we're getting the recruiters bringing doctors into our community. We were at the point where we thought we had this doctor, and because of the payment plan, we weren't able to secure him. So now the regional district is on board with trying to help us fix that problem.
Yeah.
Because how are we supposed to retain a doctor with this? So that was just kind of the biggest issue that was regional district this week.
It's a very complicated situation there, and it's something that we're going to have to tackle with Ministry of Health. But we're certainly going to do what we can to try and make some changes there. So it's a very big part of attraction and retention, not just only for our community but for the region as well. Okay, any other councilors' business? All right, moving on, question answer period. Trent, did you have a question about tonight's agenda?
Yeah, kind of digging into the consent agenda. Regarding the CARIBOU meetings, do we have representation there as the town? Are you sitting?
Yes, I got an invite to the meeting. It's taking place on November 29th in Vancouver. And it's including local governments in the region, provincial government, and some industry representatives as well from the logging and mining. And I'm not exactly sure who all is attending from the industry, but okay. Anything else?
No, you didn't make the motion with the golf course road, so I can't ask you if you're going to leave the logs in the road as sort of a historical monument. So.
I hope not. I hope not. Okay. Resolution to close meeting. Recommendation, please. Councilor Lehman.
That the meeting is closed to the public in accordance with the Community Charter, Section 90, subsection 1, as follows: labor relations or other employee relations.
Second. Councilor Krokowka. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.